Good, good afternoon, my inpatients.
Is it afternoon?
I don't know if it's afternoon or not.
Close.
You want to give an update on your health?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Casa de Papi.
Or Poppy's Place.
Or Papi's Place.
Yes.
And this is video 2 in a series of videos.
This is video 2 in the series of Poppy's Place videos.
Now, do you call these videos, or what do you call these?
I know. To be honest with you, I know we're gonna go into your house.
We are,
but right now the switch is toggled on, and I want to just talk this out here, and I want to hear your reaction to it on camera. All right.
Oh, okay.
So you get closer. So in your opinion, do you think there's been rich, famous, or interesting pop stars who have known of me for 20 years? Do you think there's anybody famous and rich who's known of me for 20 years and has been excluding me from a rich, luxurious lifestyle? Do you think they've been bullying me through their artwork or anything like that?
Now, you say opinion.
Or if you factually know it. I mean...
No. I did. To answer those questions, no. I mean...
I'll explain it to you. So I was listening to Taylor Swift's, Lady Gaga's, and so on, like a lot of pop artists. And I started to get ideas of reference delusions, that their songs were literally talking about me. They were referencing me in their social media content. They were literally referencing me for the past 20 years. Do you think that's true, or do you think?
Let me ask you a question that will answer that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think millions of people like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga and stuff?
Why would they focus on one individual?
No. The reason why people love the songs, or because they can relate to the songs.
Right.
They hear a song, whether it's a breakup with a boyfriend, whether it's, going to the prom, whatever song. People will hear that and say, oh, I can relate to that because that's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they have millions of fans. So they're not, we'll just go with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's not singling out one person. She's recording something that's reaching out to millions of people. And that's why she has millions of fans, because people listen to her music and say, you know what? I can relate to that song. That song's about me, or that song, shows what life is all about. So when you say, oh, I think these performers are singling me out. No, they're not singling you out, but they're touching on something in your life that they're trying to capture.
So the suspicion, and obviously, like you said, it's an ideas of reference delusion. The suspicion is my cousins, aunts, uncles, stepsister on my mother's side of the family knew rich, famous, or interesting people, whether it's Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, and they all conspired and they all collaborated into bullying me through their artwork because they didn't like me for whatever reason. This is not so. It's ideas of reference delusions. Mm-hmm. We're unknowns. Our family. I mean,
because you want to be famous. You want
right.
you want to be well known, famous. You want to be part of that pyramid of, oh, you know what, I'm part of the. But you know what, Andy, to disappoint you, no. I mean, the artists, they have no idea who. And as somebody, living on Long Island.
Yeah, I mean, they not only do they have no idea, and that's a good thing, because if the pop stars were referencing me through their artwork, that would make me angry. If they've known of me for the past 20 years and they were bullying me, that would make me angry. But fortunately, I'm an unknown, and there's nothing to get angry about, because it's quite frankly delusional. I know there are a lot of people who confronted John Lennon, and they asked John Lennon, "Were you writing songs about me?" And John Lennon said, "Unfortunately, guys, I mean, I write songs that appeal to a lot of people, and you're getting ideas of reference delusions. Yep. I'm not writing songs about you."
Correct.
To a more nefarious degree, I think Charles Manson got delusions about Helter Skelter, that the Beatles are writing songs about him. But Charles Manson,
maybe they were.
right.
No, it was the Beach Boys.
No, the Beach Boys wrote songs with him. He was getting ideas of reference delusions about. So toggle the switch to off. Taylor Swift wasn't writing songs about me. Lady Gaga wasn't writing songs about me, and nobody was writing songs about me for that matter. And
let me ask you this question. We're talking about Taylor Swift because we're making it personal.
Yeah.
When she played the Meadowlands and sold out like 5 nights, and 500,000 people saw her there. 500,000.
She's got a big fan base. She's got millions of fans.
How many tickets did your family members get?
0.
Why?
We saw the movie in the theater, the Eras Tour movie.
But what? How come none of your family members, or yourself, or anybody, or my family members, how come we never got tickets?
Because you're not a fan. You're not a fan to my knowledge.
No.
Why?
Because she doesn't know us.
She doesn't know.
I mean,
us. Yeah.
She wasn't comping us tickets.
I was thinking Taylor Swift didn't like me for some reason and was bullying me. Not that, okay, it doesn't matter. Somebody says she has schizophrenia, psychosis, and she's a pioneer in. Oh, have you ever heard of Lauren Kennedy West? She has schizophrenia and psychosis, and she's a pioneer in treating schizophrenia with a medical keto diet. No vegan dolls. I haven't heard of that person, and yeah, that really doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, but it might be effective,
What was the person's name?
The person Vegan Dolls was referring to is Lauren Kennedy West.
Lauren Kennedy West. Okay.
She has schizophrenia and psychosis, and she's a pioneer in treating schizophrenia with a medical keto diet.
Interesting.
Somebody says, I write songs, and some of them are really good songs. Am I referencing anybody in any of my artwork? Am I writing songs about people? I mean, sometimes I'll reference Papi in my artwork. Sometimes I'll reference old friends in my artwork. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not referencing anybody to bully somebody. I'm not referencing anybody to make somebody go crazy. I don't have nefarious intent with anybody I reference in my songs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is about the schizophrenia woman. She has a great YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you. All right. So now that I toggled the switch to off and have calmed down a little bit, you want to give an update on your health?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Hey, Rusty, how you doing? Rusty's a really good inpatient.
Is that the one who likes your washer dryer?
Yeah, Rusty likes my entrances. He likes my entrances.
Hey, Rusty. Okay, so yesterday I got a call back from the doctor regarding the biopsy of my prostate.
Yes.
And to make a long story really short, the results didn't come back too well. They determined that my prostate has it's cancerous, and it has a very aggressive cancer. And my next step is to go for a PET scan, and the PET scan will determine where exactly the cancer is, the cancer cells, and if the cancer has spread outside the prostate. And the doctor said that he's going to call it into the radiology department, and they're going to be calling me hopefully today to set the PET scan up. And that's the next step. In regards to treatment, it's a little bit too early to determine what type of treatment would be best at this time, because they still don't know the extent of the cancer, but they have determined it was cancer, and they don't know the extent of it and where exactly the cancer is located. Hopefully for the best, it's only within the prostate, and that can be treated with, simply with a degree of positive results. However, I know I said this last time to everybody out there, the important part of everything is get a physical every year. Get checked up by the doctor. Make sure they take a blood test, even a urine test, and make sure every single year you do it. If you catch this stuff early, hopefully they caught mine early. If they catch this stuff early, then treatment it will be easy. If they don't catch it and you let it go and you're like, okay, I'm feeling okay. I was feeling okay also. I went for a routine physical, and that's when everything was determined. I mean, I was feeling fine. I had no symptoms at all. And even now I have really no symptoms at all. However, once again, I'm preaching. Go get a physical every year. It's important. You have to do it. It'll help you in life. It'll save your life. It'll determine if you have high blood pressure or if you have a cholesterol problem. It's needed. You have to do it. Okay, that's me on the soapbox today.
Everybody's saying they wish the best for you. Everybody is saying, that they're hoping you make a full recovery and get this into remission. Everybody wants Papi around for a long time to come. And, as everybody says, you're a legend, Papi.
Oh, thank you.
You're a goat. And you're a legend. You're the goat. And, people like Papi. And a lot of people say, on a lighter note, they say we have great chemistry on camera together. And you got a lot of fans, but obviously you got a lot of family and friends in real life who know you personally and love you as well. And I'm sure a lot of your fans love you too, but they don't know you personally in real life.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate all your.
Everybody says you look like a good dude. You act like a good dude, and that they're wishing the best for you, and that's a good thing. Everybody's sending well wishes. Nobody wants to see somebody die of cancer unless it's like Adolf Hitler, maybe,
But how can you not like the Papi?
Yeah, how can you not like the Papi, right? I mean, everybody gets on each other's nerves sometimes, but they say Papi is chill, and nobody wants to see Papi get cancer. You know what I mean? Cancer is what it ain't.
Hey, that's life. Yeah. In life, there's good, there's bad,
right.
There's ups, there's downs. But you know what? The important thing is to mitigate everything and to look on the plus side of life and not the negative side of life. Right. It's a simple phrase or something, and I've always lived by that philosophy. You know what? The bad times don't last. The good times, hopefully, you want them to last, but you have to be on the plus side.
Exactly, guys. So Rusty wants to know. So if you don't know, I don't know if you saw the podcast I did with Rusty. Okay, I did a show with Rusty, and he wants to know if you would like to come on our show. You would have to get Discord, and we could get to know you. He could get to know you better as a human being. He's a good dude. He's got good intentions.
Yeah,
he's a trustworthy and patient.
Sure. Discord is. I can get that on my cell phone.
You can get that on your cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So he wants to interview you and have a conversation with you. And you can get it on your computer too if that's easier. He wants to talk some football, and he wants to have some conversations, and. Yeah, we could have a show. You, me, Rusty, doing a 3-way conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
Without a doubt, sure.
Awesome.
I'll gladly do that. And plus, now is Discord kind of like real time and
Zoom and and FaceTime and Signal.
Because I'm not really too happy with that Signal. I mean, sometimes. Sometimes maybe somebody knows what the problem here is. Sometimes when I interact with Andy, the Wildman, the signal is great. I mean, it's perfect. It's real time, but more times than not, it's not. It's choppy. The voices don't come over too well.
Right. So somebody says that Papi can't sell any of his drugs on Discord. The joke is Signal is encrypted. And, like Edward Snowden goes on Signal because of security. So if you were to sell guns and weapons, not saying you are,
mm-hmm.
but Signal would be a good app to use for that because
I'll
it's
keep
encrypted.
That in mind.
Keep that in mind. So if you want to have nefarious conversations, Signal's a good app to use. But I don't know why you'd want to. You know what I mean?
I personally don't even like it. I mean, as I said, when it's working, it's fine. I mean, it's good, but. That's it.
Yeah. Papi and the Wildman are a little bit, at least I am. I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist. I'm a little bit of voyeuristic in a way where it's like, you know what? I want everybody to see all my conversations. I want my, I'll use SMS, which is there's no security, there's no encryption there. But I know some people say, Signal is good because your chats are covered up, I guess, if you want to talk about your plans for world domination.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But how do you know that Signal is decrypted and
Edward Snowden endorses it, and he's wanted by the U.S. government. So if somebody that really is into security is into it, there's some privacy there. He doesn't really he doesn't want to be found, and that's lucky him.
But I'm sure the government can still track that.
Oh
stuff
yeah,
down,
I mean, the U.S. government, if they really want to get you, they can get you. But he's in Russia, so they'd have to go into Russia. I don't know. I'm not an expert on encrypted chats, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm not an expert on encrypted chats.
Okay, fair
enough.
How many people do we have watching?
We have about 5 inpatients watching, which is actually pretty low in comparison to last time. I guess we're going midday on a weekday.
Yeah.
The other time we went on a weekend, so there's a lot more people home. Somebody says, "What are Poppy's hobbies?"
Oh, Poppy hobby.
Where is Tiger? I mean, at the very least, Tiger needs to be at our beck and call here. You know what I mean? Tiger will call us. The big dogs will start barking. Tiger should be here.
We can do that anyway.
No, we need Tiger. We need Tiger to signal the big dog.
Okay.
And then we'll start barking.
Oh.
Don't do it until Tiger calls his big dog.
Hobbies. Not in particular any order.
Yeah.
I like to garden. I like bird watching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really dig bird watching. I like making puzzles. Well, the puzzle making is basically more in the winter and the winter months because, it's tough. Oh, well, obviously I'm not gardening outside in the winter.
Yeah.
I guess those are the big 3. I mean, I like gardening, making puzzles, and bird watching.
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty good hobbies, pretty harmless hobbies. I mean, I know you go to the gym every day too, right?
I try to, yes.
I mean, I know you talk about that. I know you had mahjong with it.
Mahjong too.
Mom said you had a fight with some of the people there or something like that.
And you can put on that list also mahjong. I learned to play mahjong, about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I was sitting around one day reading a brochure from the local library, and I was saying to myself, "All right, I have to do new things. I have to get out and get more creative, get more learned in life." And as I'm reading the brochure, there was and under the adult section. And when I say adult section, I mean adult education section, not adult section.
Yeah.
There was a course. One of the courses they had there was learn to play mahjong for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I have no idea what mahjong is. I like the name of it. It's a good opportunity to go and learn how to play mahjong. I mean, if I do anything with it, fine. If not, it's a good way to get out, meet people, and to broaden my horizons.
So speaking of mahjong, so somebody said.
So I learned to play mahjong, and I really like it.
Somebody said, you joined a Chinese club, although the game originates in China. Apparently, the people Poppy was playing with were elderly Jewish women, right? Mostly.
Oh, my age. So,
your age.
If you say elderly, well,
yeah, Poppy's age.
It's all relatives.
It's all relative, yeah. Didn't they get upset that you voted for Trump or something like that? Or
yeah.
Long story.
Long story. I mean, it's a long story, but
yeah. That's what I heard.
I'll be back in their good graces. I mean, how could they be mad at Poppy?
Apparently, they kicked him out because he voted for Trump. Is that true?
Well, I went to a Trump rally.
Yeah.
At the Nassau Coliseum, which is here on Long Island, and when they found out that I attended the rally or that I was going to the rally, yeah, there wasn't. There was a lot of negative kickback from that.
Yeah.
They were all pro-democratic, pro-Harris. And I even said to him, I said, hey, I never said who I was voting for, which I never did. Even to this day, I've never said who I was voting for, what party I was voting for. And, I explained to him, I said, Well, the reason I went, I mean, one of the major reasons why I went to the Trump rally is because it was it's the fifth president that I saw live.
Right.
I met President Nixon. I met Reagan. Oh, I didn't meet Reagan, but I've seen Reagan live. Gerald Ford, Clinton. Oh, actually, Obama.
Obama?
Yeah, I was at.
Oh, yeah, the debate at Hofstra.
And actually got an autograph for him.
Cool.
And actually, the sixth president, and now Trump, President Trump. So I've seen or I've witnessed, and I've been in the presence of 6 different presidents now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so too.
Yeah.
But some people don't feel that way.
Some people don't feel. Oh yeah, no, because, well, I think you were going to the Trump rally, and they probably are very liberal, and politics. You shouldn't sabotage, friendships. I know they say,
Correct. And that's why you don't talk.
Yeah, that's why they say never talk about religion, never talk about politics, because it ruins friendships. I know Mom has some friends who are liberal, and Mom's obviously a very pro-Trump. And when she talks about being pro-Trump, like there's really no reason for her and the friend to fight other than over politics.
Yeah.
But people fight over politics, so.
Oh, they get fired up. I mean,
they get fired up. Yeah,
definitely get fired up.
Yeah, they get riled up. Yeah,
and I appreciate the passion. You know what? If you can get fired up over politics or over playing mahjong or birding, great, perfect. I mean, it instills like creativity or a spirit in your life. But to turn it into anger because someone else doesn't, or someone else doesn't take your point of view, that's where it crosses the line. I mean, there's no reason to. And we're in America. We have the right to free speech. We have the right to think and do whatever we want if it's not harming anybody. And
it's unfortunate that they stopped being your friend because you voted for Trump. But realistically,
I never said I voted for Trump.
Okay, you did though, right?
I said
you're keeping that secret.
I said I attended a Trump rally. Never indicated. Never said who I was voting for.
Okay, fair enough.
That's it.
Yeah, you don't want to disclose who you voted for, but I was under the impression you voted for Trump. But you attended a Trump rally. Let's go with that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I also attended a Harris rally, would you think that I was pro Harris also?
I don't know.
You see, and that's where the line.
It doesn't really matter.
No, just conversation.
Yeah, I mean, people shouldn't exclude you because of who you support politically. But you know what? If they are going to do that, maybe you're better off not being their friends anyway. But I know you had fun playing mahjong. You had a good time playing mahjong, and it's unfortunate. I like the fact that you did mahjong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do too.
I like the fact that I would call you and you would say you did mahjong, but.
And you know what? To this day, they're still my friends. You know what? If I've, they've done nothing to, I guess, befriend me or for me to befriend them.
Yeah.
And hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully, you're able to rekindle the friendships. And maybe they'll. All right, guys. Let's change the topic. We've exhausted. Politics and mahjong. Let's change
and hobbies.
So, guys, if you got any questions, somebody guide this ship. I don't really know what to talk about now. We've talked about a lot.
Well, you can also put on my hobbies. I like music. I don't play music, but I enjoy listening to music and following bands and such.
Cool. That's awesome. That's pretty. That's pretty cool.
Way cool.
It's way cool. Somebody says, "Does Papi like vinyl? Why or why not?"
Yeah, but you know what?
Sorry. I don't mean to change the topic from vinyl, but we got Tiger, and he says, "Hey, Andrew and Papi, they want the big dogs to bark." And remember, we can't bark like little Yorkies or Malteses or like little Chihuahuas. We got to bark like we're German Shepherds and Pit Bulls.
Okay.
All right, that's a little cringy. No, you got to have a big dog bark. Yeah,
The
okay.
dogs are in the house.
The big dogs are in the house. Tiger's a big dog. Rusty's a big dog. Poppy's a big dog. I'm a big dog. Ho, ho,
Casa de Papi.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. We wait for Tiger to call us the big dogs, and that's when we start barking. But you got to bark like you're a German Shepherd.
How was my bark?
Tiger says Rusty is definitely a big dog. Yeah. Poppy's a big dog. I'm a big dog. Tiger's a big dog.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do the what are they? The Basset Hounds. Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, if you bark in the privacy of your home or you bark in public, I mean, it's kind of cringy. It's kind of like, but like if you do it to an audience, it's a great way to rally the crowd. You start barking, and the audience starts barking in unison with you. It's something that works better to a crowd, and it doesn't really work when you're doing it in the privacy of your home unless you're really a smooth talker.
Oh, but I'm good at it.
Yeah. So he says, did you watch Raw on Netflix last night? Honestly, that was exactly what I was thinking of when I was doing the barking and calling ourselves the big dogs. I was thinking of like wrestlers who bark and they rally the crowd, and you know what I mean. So,
yeah, no, I don't have the Netflix, so yeah, Raw's not really an option at this point. But I guess for the new year, that's one of my things to do for the new year is to figure out how to sign up for Netflix.
Yeah, so somebody wants you to go fight like Trump, you know, like because obviously Poppy has prostate cancer.
Yep.
And you know, obviously they want you to go fight.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Fight. That's my mission. That's what I'm going to do.
That's your mantra.
I'm knocking this cancer out of my system, and I'm going down fighting. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. It's all you can do. You got to fight to the very end.
But just one other thing, and I'm going to go off the page a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not preaching, so you know what? I'm just saying this for my own benefit. But if you hear what I have to say, I appreciate it. And, you know, I'm not talking about anybody. Like Andy just said,
yeah.
You know, you don't talk politics, you don't talk religion. And my religious beliefs are strong. I believe there's an afterlife. I believe that my final destination here will be an afterlife. So, and I'm not afraid of that. I actually embrace it in different areas. However, having said that, I'm a fighter, and I don't want to leave here just yet. I don't want to leave here tomorrow, next year, next week. I want to be like the crypt keeper in what movie was he from? The guy who was somebody will answer. I want to live a long life, and I want to blow through all my inheritance so nobody gets anything.
Right.
That's a joke.
I know.
Because I'm not blowing through my inheritance. I'm giving it all to my boys. And as I said, you know what? I want to live a long life, and I'm going to fight as hard as I can, as long as I can. And
yeah, and hopefully you're around for a long period of time. Hopefully you're around for many years to come. Hopefully you're not expiring quite yet.
And the days that I can't fight, I'm hoping my boys will fight for me. And that's it.
Yes. I mean, Poppy trained me to be a fighter. Poppy's a fighter, and we're gonna fight to the very end.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna fight. Exactly. All right. So what are some other questions?
Oh, the vinyl. Yeah, I like vinyl. I mean, that's what I grew up on was vinyl, and I really liked it. But when CDs came out, it was a lot easier, you know, with the CD, and I guess I went easy, you know, I went simplistic. People say the vinyl is more, it's analog and it's better sound, and it's not the digital, and because the digital records, if you look like a digital recording, if you look, it's kind of like a little square, and they kind of square everything off, whereas an analog will take and continue to record or use, you know, every part of the sound. hey, you know what? If you can hear the difference, that's amazing. But I mean, as a dog, I can't hear the sound. But they've come a long way with the CDs also, and also the digital recordings of today, where they capture everything.
So Tiger wants to know: is Papi a coffee guy? Do you like coffee, Papi?
Oh yeah.
What type of coffee do you like? What type of coffee do you drink?
You know what? I get I guess whatever like gourmet coffee that's on sale and stuff. I mean, I like 7-Eleven coffee. I mean, that's fine with me. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks. I think it's too costly. But I know Andy likes the Starbucks.
Yes.
I've tried a few. Like I brew my own stuff at home. I've tried like the bags of Starbucks and stuff, and I didn't find really a major difference between Starbucks and other coffee. Now I'm doing like a natural type of coffee, but I'm not a slave to any one brand at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I know a lot of people are aware, but I like Starbucks. My second choice go to is the Dunkin' Donuts. I drink this stock cold brew that I get from the supermarket. I get it in the dairy aisle. That's pretty good. I don't really like the Tim Hortons. I know you're a big Tim Hortons fan.
I like the Tim Hortons.
Yeah, I don't really like the Tim Hortons.
But you know what? I don't think it's Dunkin' Donuts anymore.
Oh, it's just plain Dunkin', right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call it Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
Yep.
So
one day it'll just be D.
It would just be D. Yeah. Dunkin'. It's not Dunkin' Donuts. It's Dunkin'. And you want to elaborate on that at all, or?
No, I
guess that says it all, right?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Tim Hortons. I'm partial to Tim Hortons. But you know what? Everybody has a different taste. I mean, everybody. Like I like the 7-Eleven. I don't think Andy actually does.
7-Eleven is obviously inferior to Tim Hortons. So I think in the chain of coffee shops,
the pantheon of
coffee shops, it would be Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons, 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Maybe so.
Yeah. I mean, which is kind of cool.
But I like Tim Hortons, and I give a shout out to my Canadian brother there.
Oh no, we definitely like the Canadians. We just don't like Trudeau or whatever his name is. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we don't like Trudeau.
Trudeau got to go.
Yes. All right, Tiger. Any more questions? Fire away your questions, my friend. Okay. Someone wants to know: are you Catholic?
Yes, I am.
Papi is Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, Tiger says he brews his coffee at home, which is pretty cool.
What type of coffee does Tiger like?
What type of coffee do you like, Tiger? All right. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I know, like I said earlier in this live stream, and you want to talk about artists you like, musicians you like. Tiger likes his coffee Colombian and black. And Tiger's a big dog. He drinks his coffee black. Yeah. You gotta bark. You gotta bark like you're a German Shepherd. Don't bark like a little Yorkie. But no, that's lame. You gotta bark like you're a German Shepherd. You gotta be aggressive. You gotta be hungry, determined.
Emma.
Yeah, and don't bark like you're Emma or Maya. Bark like you're a ferocious big dog. All right, guys. So yeah, let's talk about artists you like, musicians you like. I know we talked about Pink Floyd last time, and we really exhausted that topic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can talk about Pink Floyd again. I'm not opposed to that. But who are some other artists you like? And
the first artist I ever kind of remember, or the first band I ever remember was the Beatles.
Oh yeah, the Beatles. The Beatles are probably the most well-known rock band.
And I remember I was even though I was young, I remember them coming over to this country from England.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the Ed Sullivan Show when they made their first appearance.
Mm.
And yeah, that kind of I really didn't know much about music, or I mean, I knew music. I mean, obviously, but
Yeah.
I didn't know much about bands or performances and such. And watching him on Ed Sullivan, it was kind of like it was groundbreaking, you know. And I became kind of a music fan because of that.
Yeah.
And then I started following, you know, after that. I mean, obviously, I was still very young, but you know, I liked Rolling Stones. I got into Bob Dylan, um, Pink Floyd, the Grateful Dead, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I mean, that was all like '60s into the '70s. I mean, they were my main bands.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's great. And you know, it's great to have music that entertains you. Speaking of, I mean, we can go into this. Did you ever get ideas of reference delusions about musicians that you listen to? Did you ever think the musicians were writing songs about you and referencing you, or like when somebody would point on the TV? Did you ever think they were pointing at you, or
No,
you never got ideas of reference
no.
televisions?
I mean, you know, you like thinking outside of the box. I always wanted to be a hockey player.
Yeah.
And I always thought of myself as, oh, one day I'm going to be playing for the New York Islanders. And
Yeah.
you know, you have dreams, but they don't pan out, and you become you work in litigation, major case, and for an insurance company, and that's where it triggers.
Yeah, no, I know. Obviously, everybody has dreams, everybody has aspirations, but when you start to daydream, yeah, okay, fair enough.
No, finish it.
I was gonna say, you know, obviously, people can turn their dreams into reality, and but also, it's important to be realistic. You know, you can pursue your passions on the side, which I guess mine would be, I guess, performing, filmmaking, comedy. You can pursue that on the side, but obviously, if you don't have a paycheck supporting you, you're going to be up Shit's Creek without a paddle when you don't have somebody supporting you, like whether you or mom or disability paycheck. So you gotta obviously be realistic and find a way to be self-sufficient. So yeah, is it great creating artwork? Is it great doing that kind of thing? Yes. Would it be great to play in the NHL? Yes. But you know, obviously, you gotta. You could train to be a professional hockey player all you want, but if you don't have money coming in, well, you got to pursue your find a way find a way to keep your electricity on and food on the table. You know, so you know.
Yes, somebody asked last podcast.
Yeah.
Is it a podcast?
I mean, it's a live stream. It's a podcast. I mean, it's a podcast-ish.
Oh, live stream. Okay, I dig that.
Yeah.
Somebody asked during our last live stream.
Yeah.
I guess there's no dead live streams, right?
What do you mean by dead live streams?
No, I'm just saying, look, live. I said live stream, and I was like, that's redundant because you'll think about that. Someone asked me, like, oh, what what type of job do you think Andy should have, or what's the best job? And my response to that is any job. I mean, and my answer was any job that brings in money is a good job. I mean, you know what? It doesn't matter what you're doing. You know, you may not want to stay with that job a long period of time. You may not want to stay with that job. You could stay with that job until you find something different, something better. And but as long as money's coming in, that's a good thing.
No, I know money gives you independence, makes you self-sufficient. But I know many years ago, and this is many years ago now, and it's getting more and more important. Somebody said, frankly, I think serving coffee would bore Andrew, like as a barista. I think stocking shelves would bore Andrew, which is why a psychiatrist recommended I write a screenplay and try to go to mental health recovery groups to try to motivate me to pursue my passions. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no shame in serving coffee. There's no shame in stocking shelves. There's no shame in being a restaurant waiter. But frankly, that's not my passion in life. That's not my dream.
No.
That's not what I want to do. I don't want to make minimum wage serving coffee with 18-year-olds. You know what I mean? I know there's no shame in that, but
it's a good way to get out and also meet people.
Right.
I mean, what better way to meet people than dealing with the public?
Right.
And I'm not preaching to take jobs but you say like, oh, you don't want to do this or that, but if you're if you're working, let's say, for a coffee shop, you mentioned that,
or flipping burgers, it doesn't matter, or flipping burgers, working for a coffee shop for minimum wage, you name the example. But yeah, let's say working at Starbucks. Let's say working at Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean, you meet people every day. You meet people all the time coming in, ordering up their double, triple latte, grande.
Obviously, I have the dreams, I have the aspirations to be rich and famous. And, obviously, and somebody says you will be famous soon, I hope so. But obviously, you got to be realistic, too. You got to find a way to put food on the table. And, obviously, stop imagining celebrities are coming to rescue you, whether it's Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, or whoever the celebrity may be who's going to rescue you. Stop imagining your mother or father is going to rescue you. I mean, they can try to guide you the best of their ability, but nobody can spoon feed your life to you. Nobody's coming. The Disney Corporation isn't coming to rescue you. I mean, I guess they could, but ultimately, the only person responsible for making your life happen is you and you alone.
Correct.
You got to come back with determination, come back with a vengeance, and nobody's going to spoon feed your life to you. You have to make your life happen. And if you're working at Starbucks, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Not that that's a bad job. It's a fine job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even Trump, did a photo op at McDonald's. Like, I'm flipping burgers. I know it was a photo op and he really didn't work at McDonald's, but I mean, he was trying to say, I'm not above working at McDonald's, life is out there, but you got to go get it. You got to go out there and make your life happen,
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Were you doing Kurt Angle there?
Oh, yeah.
You're doing Kurt Angle?
Mm-hmm.
He was intense. He won a gold medal. That's legitimate. That's legit Kurt Angle.
With a broken back.
With a broken freaking neck, yeah. That's legitimate. The other wrestlers who were very legitimate, Brock Lesnar, who won a UFC championship, that's excelling at combat sports at the highest level. Angle and Brock Lesnar are very legitimate. There's other great athletes, like John Cena's a good athlete, but I think Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle are. I mean, to win a gold medal, that's pretty impressive.
Somebody asked before whether I watched Raw on Netflix.
Yeah,
I think I read that Cena came back last night.
Oh, did he?
And he's I think he's one of the candidates in the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, I think he's doing his retirement tour. Cena was a great mic worker, a great character, a great talker. Cena was really carrying the WWE for quite some time. It's a shame the Cena era is coming to an end, but yeah, it kind of already has come to an end. It's now like the Roman Reigns era.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big Dog era, is Roman Reigns also known as the Big Dog? Oh no, maybe he's not. I think Roman Reigns also was called. I think at one point he was called the Big Dog, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Yeah, but now he's the Tribal Chief.
Yes.
He's no longer the Big Dog. He's the Tribal Chief.
I
think people hated the Big Dog era of Roman Reigns. They're like, but when he became the Tribal Chief, everybody did a 180 on him and started liking him.
Was Cena ever known as a Big Dog?
Cena?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
He was known as the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Right.
He had a doctorate in Thugonomics or whatever that means,
Hey, he was successful. He got a good degree there.
So yeah, he got a good degree in Thugonomics.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite wrestling promo? It's kind of a hard question. There's a lot of good wrestling promos, right?
Yeah. If you're talking about like entrances,
yeah,
I always liked. I guess I'm going old school. Steve Austin.
Yeah, he was a great talker
with the breaking glass and him coming down.
Yeah,
I always liked Chris Jericho's entrance also. And the classic one is I guess the Undertaker. I mean, when you
no, they talk about talking abilities, mic work, not entrance.
Oh, I like Mick Foley.
Mick Foley was a great talker. Yeah,
I like The Miz.
The Miz was a good talker.
But current day, I like L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
I think he's just he's brilliant.
Yeah, L.A. Knight's a great talker. I know you were raving about L.A. Knight back in his TNA days.
Yeah.
When he was known as Eli Drake. I know you were really a big fan of L.A. Knight.
Yep.
Like even before he was famous, and like when he was doing Max Dupree,
yeah.
You're like, oh, I like this guy. You know what I mean? You just liked L.A. Knight the entire time, even before he got really, really well known.
Yeah, he had, to me, he had that it factor. Whenever he came on the TV, it's like, okay, you would stop and actually pay attention. For some reason, I like the L.A. Knight.
Yeah, I know, and that's no revisionist history. That's no just because he made himself successful. Papi was raving about L.A. Knight for years prior to him getting successful.
Eli Drake.
So, yeah. Yeah. Like, and then even when he was doing the Maximum Male models with Marseille and Monsois, I mean, like he was associating with chumps. No offense to Marseille and Monsois, but like he was carrying it with his mic ability and promo ability.
Oh yeah, that whole routine or it was just disastrous. I mean, it was a train wreck.
But it was funny because of how Eli Drake carried the promo, and that's the reason they promoted him.
Correct. Eli Drake went in there and he said, "Okay, that's what you're giving me. I'm going to sell this," and he sold it big time. And like even the fans were like, agree that this this act is just horrible. But Eli Drake or L.A. Knight was just nailing it.
Yeah, they gave him nothing to work with. They basically gave him nothing to work with, and he turned it into gold. Because of how he was selling Marseille and Monsois like they're the sexiest people on earth. So they're like, all right, we're going to promote you to be L.A. Knight, and look. He had a big title match against Roman Reigns. Obviously, Roman Reigns was in the 2-year or 4-year championship, and they weren't going to take the title off Roman Reigns. But like people really wanted to see LA Knight win the title, so he really got himself over, and you got to hand that to LA Knight.
When he was Eli Drake, he used to have the button that he used to push.
Yeah, dummy. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I forgot what it said, but dummy.
Yeah. I remember we were watching it back in those days. Yeah. All right. So Papi is an LA Knight fan, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Papi is an LA Knight fan. All right. So somebody says, do you like the Randy Savage Cream of the Crop promo? Randy Savage is a great mic worker, that's for sure.
Yeah, I like Randy Savage.
Yeah, Randy Savage is a great mic worker. Presently, CM Punk's a great mic worker, obviously. He's been a great mic worker. Any other wrestlers you like?
Oh, I did like The Rock. I mean, The Rock always put on a good show.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Rock. I mean, he did come back with the Final Boss, and he was teaming with Roman Reigns to take on Cody Rhodes and such. But obviously, The Rock's wrestling career. I mean, a lot of people know from the Attitude Era and like 1999, 2000. And he went on to big things in Hollywood and
A-lister.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna name like the biggest stars in wrestling, I mean, you'd have to throw the Hulk Hogan, Austin, and The Rock, on that list, right? How is that? How I mean, those would be three of the. Cena's up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Rock's one of the biggest stars in wrestling. Very charismatic, great mic worker.
But I think when you make a list like that, like the greatest wrestlers, you have to start with the Hulk Hogan era.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, you obviously have wrestlers like Bruno Sammartino, which everybody's probably heard of, but they've never seen him wrestle. And it was Hulk Hogan or that time period where wrestling just kind of exploded upward again.
Hogan turned it mainstream. Wrestling changed with Hulk Hogan. I mean, the Bruno Sammartino, I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people say he had a long reign with championship, but Hogan commercialized wrestling. And Austin took it, and the Attitude Era took it, and evolved it into something even different, So
I think you also have to put on that list, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair is very well known. I put him in the top 10.
Yep.
But not quite.
But and partially that's because Ric Flair didn't really spend a lot of time in the WWE, or he didn't cut his bones in the WWE or WWF or what at the time. He was big down south. He was big in
WCW.
Right. And a lot of people, or a lot of purists, will only talk about WWE.
I mean, Ric Flair is a legend, no doubt. But I think, the WWE. It seems like a lot. Is anybody still here? Tiger? Anybody?
Do we send everybody away?
I guess a lot of people didn't like the wrestling talk. I know Rusty's a big wrestling fan. But it doesn't seem like anybody's really. We got Pete still here. He wants to know Scott Steiner's math promo. His son actually, who barks like a. Tiger says, "I'm here, big dog." Tiger loves wrestling. So Tiger, who are some of your favorites? Braun
Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Why the hell did they call him Braun Breaker? They should have called him Rex Steiner or Braun Steiner.
That's Steiner's son. Steiner's nephew.
Rick Steiner's. The dog plays Gremlin. Yeah. So Braun Breaker. They should have called him Steiner though. I don't know why they called him Breaker, but whatever. He's. I guess he's doing pretty good.
I agree with you.
Why the hell did they call him? Why they should have called him Steiner? So he says Sting was my favorite back in the day. And a lot of people love Sting. I personally didn't like Sting. I was more of an NWO fan. I liked Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash.
Oh, sure.
And Sting was kind of like the nemesis to them. So I was rooting for the bad guys. I think a lot of people rooted for the NWO though. Even they were like the cool bad guys. So I mean, in hindsight, I know a lot of people said WCW and NWO had problems. I mean, when you're a child, you don't realize the problems with the company and how the company's kind of like a train wreck. But I liked it in my childhood, so you know what I mean.
It was great entertainment.
Great entertainment,
and it was good seeing both companies. Because you had the choice going back and forth. And that's why they strive to do, I guess, brilliant things, because when you have competition, you got to
bring your A game. I know WCW was defeating WWE in the ratings for many weeks, and late '90s were great for professional wrestling. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure. All right, your phone's ringing. Do you want to answer it, or no, don't answer it.
No,
try to mute it. We don't want.
Yeah, I'll shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
spam call.
It's a spam call. Yeah. Don't show it on camera, but we like Papi and I were big wrestling fans, and I still dig the wrestling. Kind of grew out of it a little bit, but it was great for many years. Tiger loved the Hell in a Cell and the cage matches.
Oh, they were great.
Oh, they were great. Yeah, they were certainly great.
And for the people out there who don't know what a Hell in a Cell was, or it still is because they still do them. You know what the ring is? What they do is they build a cage all around the ring so nobody can get out, and you can smash your opponent into the cage. I
know one of the more infamous or famous Hell in a Cell matches was one where Mick Foley got thrown off the cell by the Undertaker. I know Ric Flair said, Foley was just a glorified stuntman for doing that. Which it's like, yeah, but yeah, I mean, he that was pretty hardcore, That's pretty hardcore. But yeah, I know it's like, that's not traditional wrestling. That's not technical wrestling. That's just stuntman,
But he did a great job with it.
He did a great job with it. Yeah.
People still talk about that today.
Yeah. To risk your life for something that's going to be in the WWE archive, it's like, well, you got to give Foley props. He took a beating for the WWE, but that's crazy. That's crazy,
And plus, Foley is a local boy. He grew up, and I think he still lives here on Long Island.
Yeah, Long Island, New York, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Foley's a legend. Foley's great. He took a lot of chair shots to the head. I remember the Rock match at Royal Rumble 1999 too.
Yeah.
Those chair shots to the head.
I didn't like that.
No, that was bad. I mean, I know the neurological damage and the concussions. A lot of people say might have triggered Benoit to do what he did. Chris Benoit.
Yeah,
I know you said you always were disturbed by Ben. I know you might be doing revisionist history here, but I know you said you were always disturbed by Benoit even prior to the double murder suicide.
That's not revisionist history. I never liked when somebody would get hit in the head by a chair, or somebody like Benoit would use his head as a battering ram. I never thought there was a place in wrestling for putting your head out there.
I know you said like after the double murder suicide, like there was something about Benoit that always rubbed me the wrong way. I remember you saying this.
Yeah,
and you're like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was something a little off about him, and I remember you saying that. And everybody obviously, prior to the double murder suicide, he was renowned as a golden boy. Everybody loved him because of his excellent technical ability. He was known as being one of the best in-ring workers probably ever. Really top 5 in-ring workers to ever work for the WWE, if not one of the best. But I know you said after the double murder suicide, and I don't know if it's revisionist history. You said there was something about Benoit that always disturbed you.
No, what always disturbed me was, I loved his matches. He, as Andy said, he was a good technical wrestler. He always put on a good match. But then at the end of the match, he would use his head as like a battering ram.
Yeah.
And that kind of just, that kind of set me off a little bit. I was like, no, you know what? You don't have to use your head. You have no idea. And especially, you read about the football players with the bad helmets in the 70s and 60s. And, you got to protect your head. You got to protect what's in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know, if he didn't, do what he did, he would be regarded as a Hall of Famer, a legend in wrestling, one of the very best to ever do it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some things trump, 5-star technical matches. Fortunately, some things trump 5-star technical matches. If you kill innocent people, your name's going to get erased from history. But yeah, Benoit was one of the very best to do it. Although Rusty says he wasn't better than Dean Malenko, though.
Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko was very good. He was just very undersized.
Wasn't the 3 Malenko, Benoit, and
Guerrero? Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn.
I was thinking about
Perry Saturn. Perry Saturn was he was thrown in there. I mean, the Radicals, in the WWF, jumping over from WCW, all very, very excellent technical wrestlers. Benoit was probably a little bit better than Guerrero, but Guerrero was a better entertainer. You know what I mean? And Guerrero was excellent in his own right in the ring.
And he was a good mic worker.
Yeah. I know they gave him the Eddie Guerrero's bedtime story, which is where Papi comes from, by the way. And we saw that live in person. It's like if you gave anybody else that shtick, if you gave anybody else that promo, they would have just flopped. It would have just fallen flat. But he was such a good mic worker that even he could sell trash. You know what I mean? No offense to that gimmick. That was pretty much just shit. You know what I mean? But Eddie Guerrero, the fact that he was so charismatic, was able to sell garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was able to just sell a dead promo, basically.
But now Guerrero sold the fact that Rey Mysterio's son was his son, actually.
Yeah.
And who is Rey Mysterio's son?
Dominic Mysterio. Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio.
Many years ago. Yeah. He. But he was given nothing to work with, and he made it. I mean, if anybody else was given that promo, it would have just flopped. Somebody says, very dumb decision by WCW to let go of Chris Benoit. Well, maybe not a dumb decision in hindsight, but Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and I think they all wanted to jump. They saw it was a sinking ship, and I think they wanted out. I mean, WCW had no choice. I think they were offering them big contracts to stay. They even gave Benoit the WCW title to stay. I think they all just wanted to jump from the sinking ship and find success in greener pastures. I think they were just done with WCW at that point.
Well, and WCW during that time also, they were just running the NWO. They were running the main stars. The what do they call them? The like the second level or the luchador type of wrestling. They had no plans for them. So that's why.
Well, literally on Benoit's last night with WCW, he won the championship. So they were like promising them big things, but it was a sinking ship, and they wanted to go to the WWE.
Yep,
it was a sinking ship, and they wanted out. Any last questions? I mean, we talked about wrestling quite a bit. Anybody have any last questions here? WCW hardcore matches were awful. Yeah, I know WCW was PG. What was it? And they had standard and practice to answer to. And I know WWE in the Attitude Era was pretty hardcore with their hardcore matches, as we cited Mick Foley's examples. But yeah, WCW. I know some people like the Vince Russo era WCW. They say in hindsight, maybe that's what we should have been watching. It was like, they said, I don't know what drugs Vince Russo was doing, if any drugs, but they say like it was so crazed that maybe the era of, maybe we shouldn't have been watching WWE at the time. Maybe we should have been watching Vince Russo's WCW because it was so out there.
But we were watching, WCW also.
I think we were taping it and just fast forwarding through it.
Which brand had the pinata on the pole match?
That was Vince Russo's
WCW.
Yeah. Like apparently it was so crazed and so over the top that it was just. I'm like at the time everybody said, "Oh yeah, this is trash." But like in hindsight, maybe that was what we should have been watching,
And didn't they give an actor like the title?
David Arquette, yeah.
David Arquette.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he shows up, and they hang the title on him.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is this?
Yeah. I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to get people to talk about WCW. But, it devalues the WCW championship when you give the championship to an actor.
Exactly.
I mean, it's supposed to be, so I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get people talking. He was trying to get a buzz for the company. But, yeah, it devalues the championship when you give it to an actor.
You have to be a wrestler first, then an actor, like The Rock and Cena.
Exactly.
And Hulk Hogan. He was the Tooth Fairy, right?
The Rock was the Tooth Fairy, yes.
Oh yeah, that's
The Rock was
the babysitter was Hogan, right?
The Hogan was in some really trash movies.
That's right. Rock was the Tooth Fairy.
Rock was the Tooth Fairy. Oh yeah, the Rock was the Tooth Fairy.
And also, the Marine.
No, the Miz. The Miz. Actually, initially it was John Cena. And then The Miz thought he was a Hollywood A-lister because he was in the Marine 3 or whatever. I think Ted DiBiase, who was in jail, was in. But Miz was like in Marine 3, and he started. Actually, Miz 2016 on SmackDown, that was actually a pretty good run. And his Hollywood A-lister, gimmick was pretty good. But,
yeah, he was pretty good in that.
But it's not like a real movie. It's straight to DVD movie. It was a gimmick. It was a wrestling gimmick. Rock is a bona fide Hollywood superstar. Hogan, even though he did the Hollywood Hogan, wasn't really a Hollywood superstar. Cena.
Nash was in a couple of movies too. He was
Super Shredder.
The Punisher.
The Punisher
movie.
He was in John Wick too. Kevin Nash. But yeah, he's not a real actor.
And Batista.
Batista succeeded. He was in the Marvel movies. He was Drax the Destroyer.
Oh yeah.
He was in James Bond, and he said shoot. He was Mr. Hanks or whatever his name was.
Yeah, they threw him from a train, right?
They threw him from a train. Yeah, we were in.
I always told Andy, no, he's not dead. He's coming back. I guess I was hoping he would come back, but
yeah.
When you get thrown from a train, that's
Batista.
That's not good. Batista.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess that about does it, right? Anybody have any? Anybody have any last questions here? Rusty, you want Papi and I to talk about any wrestlers? So, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? If you had to pick your favorite wrestler of all time, who would you pick?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I just off the top of my head, I'm going to say Mick Foley.
Mick Foley was a great talker, great entertainer, very hardcore, very very lovable. His lovable, oaf. I don't want to call him a lovable oaf, but a lovable guy gimmick was great.
But he changed up too because he he was Mankind. He was hardcore. I mean, he was a hardcore wrestler also.
Yeah.
He was Dude Love.
Oh yeah.
And he would constantly change up, different wrestling styles.
I mean, it's not a bad pick, but and you said your favorite wrestler, and if Mick Foley's your favorite wrestler, I think mine, if I had a pick, would be Scott Hall or Razor Ramon.
He would be on my list too, as if I had look at top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he was suave, he was cool.
Hey yo,
he was the bad guy. I mean, Scott Hall would probably be my number one. And I guess that about does it.
All right.
Peace out, my impatience.
And
that is what it is.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah. Anyways, it's still wrapping up. I don't know.